Before I start the presentation, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Nurul Farhanania binti Najmuddin and my matrix number is A2261. I will explain about the introduction. This study focuses on analyzing a household income dataset to understand the demographic and socioeconomic characteristics of the respondents. Household income is an important measure of economic well-being. In this study, we selected 4 variables, namely income, age, educational level, and gender. A sample of 3,500 observations was randomly selected from a population of 10,000 observations. Both descriptive and inferential statistical techniques, including t-test and ANOVA, were used to analyze the data.
My name is Soposio. My metric number is A23A2690. And for these sections, I will explain the sampling and data selection process used in our studies. We use the simple random sampling method to obtain a representative subset from the household income dataset. And this method ensures that every observation in the populations has an equal chance of being selected, making the sample unbiased and representative of the overall populations. The original dataset contained 10,000 observations, and to reduce the amount of data while maintaining representativeness, we use the ChatGPT to help us select 35% of the populations, resulting in a sample size of 3,500 observations. To ensure that the sampling process can be reproduced, we use a fixed random seq of 14963. The 14963 is the sum of the last 4 digits of all group members, and the sampling was carried out without replacements, which means that once an observation was selected, it could not be chosen again. Finally, the sample dataset was exported into CSV and Excel formats for future statistical analysis. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Yatyashen. Now I will present the 3.0 measure descriptive. First is the survey span the full working age population from 18 to 70 years old, exhibiting a well-dispersed and balanced distributions. The age structure is highly symmetrical as the mean and median. It is 44.14 years and 44 years are almost identical. In terms of kiss percentiles, 25% of the sample is under 31 years old, 75% is under 58, and the most frequent age is 62. The sample is relatively highly educated, with bachelor degree holders forming the last group at 40.9%. High school education is the second most common at 29.5%, followed closely by master degree holders at 24.5%, and the doctorate holders represent the smaller segment, making up just 5.1% of the total sample. The third one is gender. The sample demonstrated at an almost perfectly balanced gender distribution across 3,500 observations, with males at 50.2% and female at 49.8%. These equal ratios ensures that any subsequent gender-based Comparisons such as an independent sample t-test will be statistically robust and free from the sample size bias.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Lee Ken. Now, I want to present 3.2 is graphical representations. The first one is the histogram show that the respondent age distribution is relative balanced and evenly spread between 18 and 17-year-old. No age group is overly dominant. In addition, the mean age 44.14 years is very close to the median age 44 years, indicating a balanced age distribution among the respondents. And second, the histogram show a positively skewed income distributions. Most respondents are in the lower income range, while only a few is very high income. As income increases, the frequency decreases, indicating that most household is moderate income and only a small number have certainly higher income. The third one is education level. The bar chart showed that bachelor degree holders make up the largest group of respondents, followed by high school and master degree holder. Doctor holder represents the smaller group, indicating that most respondents have tertiary education qualification. And the last one is gender. The gender distribution is nearly balanced between male and female respondents, with males slightly outnumbering females. This balance representation help reduce gender bias and provide a fair basis for analysis.
Hi, my name is Nur Akila Izati binti Ahmad Faisal and my matric number is 823A1754.
Differential statistic using t-test and ANOVA, this is used to make a conclusion about the population based on the sample. This is also to examine difference between group in terms of income, age and work experience
And other categorical variables.
4.1 and significant value. The chosen significant level for all tests is 0.05, 5%. 95% confident interval CI will be applied. The significant level means that a maximum of 5% of risk can be acceptable for making a null hypothesis. When p-value less than 0.05 in a result, it means the result is considered statistically significant. For 5% is the most common standard used in business and social science to balance the risk of type 1 false positive and type 2 false negative error. The objective is to determine whether the difference between groups are statistically significant or merely due to random variation. If p-value is significant to 0.05, equal to reject hypothesis O. If p-value significant over than 0.05, equal to fail to reject H. 0.
Hi, I'm Lee Sing Ing. My matrix number is A23A2576. I will present the 4.2 t-test. T-tests are used to compare the means of two groups to determine if they are significantly different from each other. It is applicable when the dependent variable is numerical. The independent variable have two categories. The data are normally distributed and independent between groups. Next, we develop the hypothesis for the independent sample t-test. For income, The null hypothesis states that there is not significant difference in mean income between male and female respondents. Well, the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant difference. The same hypothesis will apply to age and work experience. In other words, we wanted to determine whether males and females differ significantly in terms of these three variables. Based on the group statistic, female respondents had a higher mean income of 818,206.19 compared to 77928.94 for male respondents. In terms of age, female was slightly older, with an average age of 44.51 years, while male have an average age of 43.78 years. Female respondents also had slightly more work experience, averaging 25.22 years compared to 25.07 years for female. However, these observed difference do not necessarily indicate significant difference. Therefore, an independent sample t-test was conducted for future analysis. First, we examine Levin's test to determine whether equal variance could be assumed. Since the significant value for income 0.134, age 0.1496, and work experience 0.880 were all greater than 0.05, the equal variance assumption was satisfied. Therefore, we use equal variance assumption result for interpretation. The independent sample t-test showed that the p-value for all three variables were greater than 0.05. Hence, the null hypothesis will not reject, indicating that there were not significant difference in income, age, and work experience between male and female respondents. Besides, statistical significance will also examine the effect size using Cohen's d. The results show that the effect size for income negative 0.022, age negative 0.047, and work experience negative 0.010 were all close to 0. According to Cohen's d guideline, this value represents negligible effect. The independent sample t-test showed no significant difference in income, age, and work experience between male and female respondents at the 5% significance level. In addition, the negligible effect size suggests that any observed difference are too small to have practical importance.
Hi, my name is Liu Yuhang and my number metric is A23A1662. Now I'm going to talk about ANOVA. And ANOVA is used to see if there got any differences in the numerical outcome between two or more levels of the same group. So ANOVA is preferred over multiple independent t-tests because it is reduced type of one error. And in this study, we're going to talk about like one-way ANOVA was conducted to examine whether there got any significant differences in outcome and age across different group categories. And so if we're talking about the income, so the hypothesis for income new hypothesis, there's no certificate differences in mean income among the group. And about the alternative hypothesis, there's significant differences in mean income between male and female response. So when we're talking about this, it's based on the ANOVA table. So we can clearly to see that the income F equal to 1.2336 and value is 0.127 and about the since p is 0.127 bigger than 0.05. So the null hypothesis is not rejected. Therefore, there is no certificate differences in mean income among the group. So if talk if talking about the age hypothesis for age, new hypothesis there is no significant differences in mean age among the group, and alternative hypothesis there's a significant difference in mean age between male and female respondents. So based on the table for the age f equal to 1.1446 and the value is 0.228 and about the since p is 0.228 bigger than 0.05. The null hypothesis is not rejected and therefore there is no significant difference in mean age among the groups. So now I'm going to talking about the ANOVA table components and also the interpretations. So for the first is between groups, it is a variation due to the differences between group means. And second, within groups, it is a variation within each group. And the third is sum of square. It is a measure of total variation, and the fourth is mean square. It is a SS dividend by degrees of freedom. And the fifth is F value. It is ratio of between groups, variation to within group variation. And the last for the table components is significant p-value. It is a determines statistical significance. So next is we're going to talking about the interpretations. So for the interpretation based on the ANOVA table, the new hypotheses are not rejected as the p-value for both variables is more than 0.05. So which means is p is bigger than 0.05. Therefore, there is no statistically significant differences in income or age among the groups. Furthermore, the effect size analysis shows that all the coherence d value were close to the zero, so which means is d is smaller than 0.2 and indicating negligible practical significance. So for the last, it is the both like the statistical significance and also the practical significance analysis is consistently suggests that the gender has little to no influence on income, age, or work experience on this sample.
At last, me as Nurul Farhanana binti Nazmuddin will explain about the conclusion. To conclude, this study analyzed the household income dataset using various statistical techniques. The findings show that most respondents had moderate incomes, the average age was about 44 years old, and the gender distribution was almost balanced. Furthermore, the t-test and ANOVA results indicate that there were no significant difference among the selected groups, as all p-values were above 0.05. Overall, the study showed how statistical analysis can help us better understand household income characteristics and support effective decision making.